How's it going, everybody? Thank you for coming back and joining us here on Parents versus Gaming. We're super excited. And you know what? This week, we have a couple of guests. So we've got the Holy Man and Wildish Mama. So we're super excited for that. But, of course, I'm James. I'm the 3J Gamer. And we've got Killa. That was good timing, right? I waited for you to take a drink on purpose.
Yeah.
Killa Kane over here, of course, my co-host here. Killa, how's your week been? What are you playing?
It's been crazy. I took Tuesday off as a mental health day for myself. So I didn't stream Tuesday. I streamed a little bit Thursday, not too long. I still wasn't feeling the best. And then I actually streamed for over 10 hours yesterday.
What were you playing?
I played a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition in the beginning since we missed our story day on Tuesday. So I played a little bit of Dragon Age.
What happened to
And
Fable?
then, I know, I didn't play Fable because I missed Dragon Age, so I wanted my people to be able to still see their story on Tuesday, so we played it on Saturday instead. And then we played Apex, and we did a little bit of ranked. There was a few angry moments.
As there tends to be. Who was the crew? Who was the crew running Apex?
Me, one of my moderators, Adzi, and one of my new friends, Sammy. We have all been running. They are my crew that I run with in ranked on Apex.
There you go.
So
there you go.
But yeah, yeah.
So for my week, it's been a little bit crazy. I jumped into still playing tons of Escape from Tarkov. Obviously, it's the first wipe. There's all these events going on right now, so we're still trying to figure it out. You can see Ender and myself, and we've added. He's come over from console finally. Master of Shadows, who's one of our podcast hosts on the anime channel.
Has he?
He is PC now. He still has his Xbox, of course, like the rest of us, but he. PC, so he's jumped in, and then of course Wright, who I was always doing Warzone with, is playing with us as well. So it's very interesting to go from a lot of solos and duos in Tarkov to now we're trying to roll 4 deep, and the amount of times we've killed each other is not good. Just not good. Either someone's running off on their own, or someone stops communicating. Because I don't know if you guys ever played it, but there's no icons. If you don't know who your team is and you're not commenting constantly communicating, you have no idea where your teammate is. So you think and you have to make quick decisions. So you think, and then next thing you know, you're killing him. But I've had some small areas. It's definitely not all my fault, as Ender has graciously joined the chat now. Thank you very much, Ender. I believe you're the person that last killed someone on our team. I mean, it was a great shot, but he dropped him. If you want to see a good clip on I Am Ender TV, he has a short of it. He turns around the corner and he goes, "I see him," and he shoots him, and all you hear is Wright say, "Oop, I'm dead," and then you hear, "Shit, my bad. That was me."
I've seen that happen so many times in Tarkov. I don't play myself, but I've seen a lot of team kills on it.
So it was pretty funny, and we were doing a challenge as well, where it was if anyone we started just a knife, so the challenge was try to go map to map to map, just starting with a knife, and then if anyone in the squad died, we had to start all the way over at the first map, and we were in the second map when this happened, so that was how we wiped ourselves that time. But it's been pretty fun, and then in the end term, as a lot of times you only have that 30-40 minutes to game. A game like Tarkov, you don't really want to jump in. By the time you set up your inventory and jump in and wait for the lobby to start. So Ender and I decided to give Fortnite a chance. To which, now they've got a 0 build mode.
They do.
And the funny thing is, Ender doesn't really like third-person games. He doesn't like third-person shooters. He can't play PvG. He won't play things like The Division. And we actually found ourselves having a lot of fun. We're somewhat better than we thought we were until we run into someone that's all they play, and then you're humbled very quickly.
Probably ran into a 6-year-old.
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyone our age, we killed no problem. As soon as we ran into a 5-year-old, it was over. They just destroyed us. So that's been my guilty pleasure this week, is jumping into, one of the games that kind of kicked off a lot of the battle royales, the Fortnite and PvG, of course. But enough about us, Killa. We've got 2 brand new guests that you've kind of
We
reached
do.
out, started to make some connections. So we've got from Twitch TV, both of them, The Holy Man and Wildish Mama. Now you guys are married, correct?
Absolutely.
And it's Holy Man and then Alex, I believe, is what you prefer to go by. Now tell us a little bit about yourselves. Have you guys been playing games your whole lives? Are you streaming? What's the deal?
Well, I have been a gamer ever since I was a little kid. We started on Atari. My dad brought home an Atari, and I vaguely remember that, with Pong. And what was the other one? It was, I don't know if it was Snake or like a caterpillar. I don't know. One of those weird ones like that. But then I really got into it on the Nintendo. Started with the simple stuff like Duck Hunt and Super Mario, but the one that really hooked me was Final Fantasy. The original Final Fantasy. That's when I really started to love gaming. I've been doing it a long time. Streaming-wise, I've been streaming for about 2.5 years now, a little more than 2.5 years, right before COVID hit. So like November of 2019, I started. And it has been quite the roller coaster up and down ever since. It's been a blast, and I absolutely love it.
And Alex, what about you?
So I wasn't allowed to have video games as a kid. My dad said they rotted our brain. So I played with my best friend next door. I started on the NES also, mostly just Mario, and we had like the N64, and we played a lot of GoldenEye, Mario 64.
I got some questions about GoldenEye soon, but it's funny. A lot of us we talk back and we're like, oh, Mario, and you're playing with Kane a lot lately, and it makes me laugh. He sits there and he plays Apex with you a lot, which is really cool. But you got to think, Alex, when you were playing Mario with your friend, it was annoying. The better someone got, like the more annoying it was because you had to wait. You weren't playing at the same time. You had to wait. And if someone got really, really good, you could be there all day. There was games at my friend's. I don't know if you guys had this, but there were a couple of games that you weren't allowed to play if a certain person was at the house because no one else would get a turn. They could beat the whole game by themselves without dying.
Like cheering for your friends to die just so you get a turn to play. Yeah.
We took turns, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like me with my 4 siblings. I'm just waiting for one of them to die.
So now you guys are married. How many kids do you have?
2.
2. So how difficult is it being in a household, husband and wife? You're both trying to stream. I think, Holy Man, you said you're more of the close to a full-time, part-time besides your normal job and then streaming on the side more than Alex. But is it difficult? How do you guys balance that? What's your story, and we'll kind of go on that.
So, well, first off, for right now, it's a lot nicer now because our kids are a little older. They're 8 and 11. So for the most part, they're self-sufficient. If you see me reaching around, it's because the dog's like really healthy. I apologize. Well, I'm not doing anything creepy down here, guys. Just your mind's out of the gutter. It's the dog. But like they're self-sufficient, so it makes it a lot easier in that aspect. But back when I was first starting out with the streaming thing, trying to find a balance between work, family time, and streaming was really difficult. Because, if you want to grow with streaming, there's a lot of off-stream things you have to do between putting out the content, supporting other small streamers and content creators, and everything in between. So trying to find the balance, I definitely struggled with at first. We had a few arguments about it. I won't be shy about that. I got myself into some trouble. Stepped back for a little bit, reevaluated everything. And I think the biggest thing that helped was now when I set my schedule, when I'm trying to figure out what it is I want to do, go to her first. While she does stream herself, she doesn't have a schedule.
No.
So I'm the one with the schedule. I'm the one that's really pushing for it and really trying to grow. She does it on the side for fun. She's actually gotten into doing some gardening streams because that's her passion is gardening right now. So she does the IRL streams.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
Yeah, they're fun.
I've been trying to push her to do that for a while now. I'm glad she started.
I might have to hit her up for some garden secrets.
Yes, there you go. She's starting her own business.
That's
I think
awesome. Because I plan on so our new place that we're moving to has a bigger area for us to be able to make a bigger garden than what we have, and my son wants to make a bigger garden because he loves to grow vegetables and fruits, and he wants to grow all these things. And I'm like, all right, we got to figure out how we're gonna do this. I mean, I love to garden too, so but definitely have to check that out next time you do it.
Yes, for sure. but yeah, it's been a huge help sitting down and planning things out with her. Anytime I want to plan out a special stream, I go to her. I say, hey, when can we fit this in? When do I have time? Because in reality, she's the schedule keeper. She's literally the family schedule keeper. So I don't know when things are going on. She does.
So Alex,
So-
I'm gonna throw this out. I know I didn't prep you on this, but I'm kind of interested based on this conversation here. So at Parents vs. Gaming, if anyone goes back and watches other episodes, we've brought on a therapist on the show. We've brought on professionals that have dealt with gaming addiction and things like that. And we've also tried to help at times and work with people that, whether the husband games or the wife games and the other one hates it. When he says that you've had some arguments, do you want to share a little bit kind of what that was like and how you got through them? And like I said, if it's uncomfortable, we don't have to talk about it, but it definitely helps other people to to understand. Did you ever get to a point where you kind of understood that he really wants to do this and you're trying to be supportive, but where was the line? Like how did you balance that?
Well, it was mostly just that it was taking up all of his time. When he was not working, he was on game, streaming, playing. It was just a lot.
Well, I think most of it was that when I wasn't streaming, I was in other streams.
Yeah.
Trying to support other people as best I could, and that's where it really took a toll and took a lot of time.
Yeah, because you're on your phone all the time watching people, not focused on
family time.
Yeah.
It's
it's easier now because he does it 3 days a week. We play together 2 out of those 3.
And I try to set aside time to do the networking part of it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not on it all the time now. So the days that I cut back to 3 days streaming so that I could spend a little bit more time supporting the rest of the community. So those off days from streaming, I'll try to hop into other people's streams for like an hour or 2 hours, but it's not like it's all I'm doing. Like there are times where I'll disconnect completely. And it's almost like I feel bad for not being able to get around to everyone's streams as
absolutely.
often. But I let them know, I'm like, listen, and the same goes for you guys as well. Like, you don't have to always be in my stream. I will never expect people to always be in my stream because it is so rare for people to make a living out of this. While some of us are really pushing and really want to make it like either a side gig or a full-time gig, it's hard to do. So you really have to set your goals realistically. As long as you can look at it like that, that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's difficult. I mean, myself starting this podcast network, it's a lot, So it's like I get off my normal job and I come upstairs and I get on the computer room and sometimes I game on the side or in between while I'm editing something and it's just processing, or I'm trying to organize everybody. And it's like, hey guys, do you want to all record a bunch of podcasts and use your own time? And I'm not going to pay you, but maybe we'll grow. Maybe somebody will go viral and maybe something will come out of it. And then on top of that, I'm also trying to be a streamer, plus a dad. I have shared custody with my own son and my fiance. We live together now, and she's got two girls still living in the house anyways, 3 overall. And it is extremely difficult to balance. And after all of that, everyone is saying, hey, listen, Ender, you're part owner. We're not getting paid. So you're, for those listening, we do record these live on twitch.tv /the3J Gamer. And if you want to jump into the comments and stuff, you can always be on there. But if you notice, Holy Man, one thing I left out of there is I mentioned all the stuff that I'm trying to do myself, and I didn't leave any time to network and other people. I mean, I'm lucky. I try to jump into Kia's stream once or twice a week, and then I'll try to jump into Ender's when I'm not on at night. And I'm, luckily he streams super late. And then a lot of the other people I've tried to jump in, and it really is hard to find that extra time to balance how to network. So then you start wondering, like, well, should I keep doing this? I don't know if I have the time to network. If I'm not going to network in other people, in other people's streams, how am I going to get people to follow our stream? And then you like you're saying, you almost feel guilty that you can't be there, and you just have to be open and honest. And I think when you come across the parent streamers, they get it, right? There are weeks that it seems like you're everywhere, and then 3 weeks will go by, and you're lucky if you even get to stream yourself.
Yeah, I've had weekends, like full weekends, where I have not gone to anything. Like I don't stream Fridays or Saturdays anymore. And I've had, I think the last 2 or 3 weekends, I might have visited a stream for 20 minutes. That was it. And it's probably going to end up that way again come summertime here.
Yeah.
Because we get really busy. We're out and about a lot. We don't have a whole lot of time at home. And like, you know, you feel bad for not being able to do it. But the people who you've really connected with, they understand.
I feel like the community that you're building, which I absolutely love being in and a part of, and I may not be very active in there, and I apologize, but I'm not very active in a lot of Discords just because it just gets to be too much sometimes. And I know as parents, you understand that sometimes it's just hard to be everywhere at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep up with it.
But I feel like your community is really supportive and amazing, and I think that they understand that. So I originally met the Holy Man through TikTok. I am still, I don't know, I'm still getting used to TikTok and stuff like that, but I do post my clips and stuff. Yeah, I know, I'm such a noob. But scrolling through and seeing a lot of his clips, I started kind of like stalking his TikTok and like watching, and I try to comment and like when I can and stuff like that. And eventually I did make it over to his Twitch page, and I did follow through there. But I watched him on TikTok for a little while before I actually decided to like go give him a follow and actually sit in and watch his streams, just because I loved his content that he was making. So and
I'm sure that's exciting to hear, right?
Being a gaming parent,
Absolutely.
Like drawing someone from one medium and bringing them over from a completely different platform, I think is justifies the time you put in to do it.
I never thought that TikTok would be my biggest tool for growth. It really has been. If I can give everybody one piece of advice on the TikTok thing, like I don't get a whole ton of views on my TikToks, but the one thing I can tell you is don't just post clips to TikTok. Don't just post clips like your gameplay clips, because there's so many different videos out there that are just the same. What you want to post on TikTok is what your personality is like on stream. So like I don't post like squad wipes or great shots that I get in Apex or anything like that. I try my best to post the funny moments where everybody had a good laugh, or like I've got all these ridiculous challenges for Apex on my stream that people make me do, and I try to share those.
I love those. I really do.
It's so much fun.
So great.
I figure
especially
if I'm not
the singing one. That one's great.
Yes. That's new. That one's new off of a build-it challenge. That became a permanent challenge.
It's fantastic.
You guys love it. She
does
doesn't.
not.
She's
I
the one
know.
with the headset. But, oh my God.
I hate it.
Yeah, and I try to share tips and advice that has worked for me. Like I'm not a pro gamer. I'm not a partnered streamer or anything like that. And all I can really share is the kind of things that have worked for me recently.
Yeah.
So, you really want to let people see who you are and not just your gameplay, because most of the time when people come to your streams, they're coming for the personality. They're not coming to watch your game.
No, we've got I want
agree.
to read the chat here for you, Holy Man. We've got a comment I believe directed to you guys. It says, "Kudos." This is from Alaskan Wolf. "Kudos to these two. I work full time and my wife has 2 jobs. We have a homestead and a 5-year-old. I can't remember the last time we gamed, and I haven't streamed in almost a year now. Wasn't a game streamer. Had a morning show during work. But these two have found an amazing balance." So, I mean, it definitely can get noticed by people just the way you guys work it out. So kudos to you, Alex, to helping balance that out and find it the right way. And you guys seem to have a great plan together. Now, another thing we talk a lot about on the show is whether kids should stream, whether kids should game, what you allow them to game. Now, being gamers yourselves, you may or may not be a little bit more lax. I've come across gamer parents that like don't let their kids play certain things, or someone like Kia that lets Kane shoot people. Yeah. I'm just teasing, Kia. He only can play with you. I'm just teasing. So, but my question to you guys is, how do you guys handle that with your kids? Are they even interested in gaming? What's it like? What ages do you have?
Do you want to take it first? I don't know if your ideas on the whole streaming thing are different than mine.
I don't want Eli to stream.
At all?
Maybe when he's like 15 or 16, but not like 13. That's too young.
Like,
he doesn't have the like emotional maturity to be a streamer
at
all. Because
now, how old are they? How old are they again?
8 and 11.
8 and 11.
Our daughter is 8.
Okay. Now, do they both play video games?
Yes.
Okay. What do they play and what do you let them play?
Mostly Fortnite,
Yeah.
and they play Apex.
They've gotten into Apex recently.
They probably killed us, Ender.
My son
Our
is
son's good.
fantastic at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's actually really good at Apex too. He's probably about as good as me at
He has a
Apex.
higher KD than you.
Yeah. Well, he just started. I
I
have
was
to
say,
build up my
if
old
he
team.
just started.
Wow, you got
of course
real
his KD is
defensive
better.
there. I see how Alex throwing in some
got it.
jabs.
Hey, I'm still a man of this house for now. I gotta hold my own. Gotta hold down the fort. King of the castle, you know. But he was playing Skyrim at how old was he? Like 5 or 6 the first time we let him try Skyrim.
He beat Mario like the whole game on the Switch. Remember?
Oh yeah, but we're talking about like
I
violent
know,
games.
but well.
Like what would be a game out that's popular right now that you would say your kid is not old enough to play yet, that you would be hesitant?
GTA.
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto for
Yeah.
sure.
What
Grand
about
Theft
Call of
Auto.
Duty?
100%.
Call
No,
of Duty's
no.
okay.
Well, it's kind of a toxic.
Well, yeah, when you get into the
Online.
lobbies and stuff, I
Yeah.
can get that. But I think I'm more along the lines of I want to keep them away from games that have like more of the sexual content.
Oh, like The Witcher. He can't play
The
that.
Witcher, yeah, we can't let him play The Witcher 3, even though it's an amazing game because of the sexual content in that. Like the violence is one thing because to me, video game violence is a little bit different. And he's a smart enough kid that he knows, you know, this isn't how real life works. But
Yeah.
I think like the sexual content is a little more along the realistic lines. And I don't want him seeing that kind of stuff.
Now we do have some parents that listen. They've written in as well. And you talk about letting them play the violent games, whether it's Call of Duty. I mean, Fortnite's very cartoony, but still you're shooting people. Apex the same. So stuff like that. So you still have those parents out there that are like, you know, video game violence is translated over to real world. So when you say your kid's smart enough, he understands this is video game world, and your daughter probably the same. How do you look at that as a parent, and what would be some advice to a parent that doesn't game at all but notices that their kid likes to game? Maybe they're doing it at their friends because they don't let them do it at home, like Alex's parents. But what's your advice to them? And you know because you hear it in the news all the time. Video games are the reason there was this shooting.
I don't play.
Well, now I might have a different idea on this because I was a gamer as a kid, right? So when we were gamers as a kid, they kind of said the same thing. You know, if there was, it was the Columbine thing.
Columbine
And
was
they blamed
it.
Marilyn. They blamed Marilyn Manson and video games and everything else. And like, I was 6, 7, 8 years old when I was playing games that you had to kill things and never thought, hey, I'm going to go out and start beating people up.
Yeah.
Like I watched wrestling as a kid. I watched boxing as a kid. Like it never made me have violent thoughts at all. So I guess reflecting back on my youth, I know what's going through my own kid's mind because I know my own kid. My kid's an intelligent kid and he understands the way the world works. You know, I guess that's the best thing I can say is I've been through it. I've been through it as a kid. Now I'm going through it as an adult with my own kid and it's just a shared experience, I guess.
So
I think,
go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
I never, like, as a kid, I played games like, GoldenEye and stuff where you have to shoot people. And it definitely didn't carry over into my adulthood. Like, I didn't think, like, oh, I'm going to go find a golden gun and off these people. I don't know. I think, I guess it really does depend on your child. And if ours are the point where they're misbehaving at home, then we take a couple days off the video game. Let them disconnect and kind of chills because sometimes they really need it. Big time.
Yep. I've had to do the same with Kane. He's 6 and there are times where he I have told him I was on stream. I've been on stream before and he was doing something like him and my husband were playing and he got super upset over it and I said, no, turn the video game off. You're done for the night.
That's what we do too.
You're taking a break. You're done. And then he's like, oh, but I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. I said, nope. You got your
Okay,
one chance,
listen. No,
and that's it.
I want to jump in here a little bit about people that get their kids getting upset because I'm looking at Holy Man. He's kind of almost trying not to laugh out loud. Listen, there's no way the three of you can look at me in the eye and tell me when you were a kid. Did all of your parents play games? I think Kia's yours did, right?
No, mine
My
didn't.
dad played video games.
Okay,
My
and
mom
Alex's
did not.
didn't. But Holy Man, what about you?
A little bit.
Very
like,
little, right?
My dad actually played Final Fantasy before me. That's how I found out about Final
Nice.
Fantasy.
Yeah,
Okay,
my dad
so-
did too. He introduced me to it.
My question is, how many times did you throw a controller as a kid?
Never.
I don't think I did because it wasn't mine.
No, but listen, what we can hear, like we gave my son a PlayStation 4 for Christmas in hopes that he would run ranked with us on Apex eventually, and then he made friends on there, and we were yesterday's news. But we can hear him slam his desk when he gets angry. She
You
looks
do it
at me.
too.
She looks at me. She's like, "It's you."
But so now
He
my
does the
question
same
is
thing to you,
do you
and
think
you hear him?
so a lot of parents they'll freak out like Kia, as soon as King gets mad, you're like, "No, sir." Like, "No," and you stop it. Now my question is, Holy Man, you're like me. I've thrown controllers. I've been super mad, super angry. Now, my parents weren't super invested into paying attention to what games I was playing. They didn't watch it. Of course, they didn't have to worry about, GTA back in the 80s, right? You didn't have sexualized video games, well, that
Yeah,
were
now it's
easily accessible. So it was a little bit different. But now parents are always watching. You're gamers, so you're watching your kids. Is it actually a problem, or is it that you're just seeing it because you're more involved now and you don't know how to handle it? Because I mean, I'm sure, Holy Man, you feel like you were fine, you got mad and you got over it, but I don't think it made you a horrible person because you got mad at the game. So what do you guys
Okay,
think
hold
the
on.
difference
I don't
is?
think it makes you a horrible person if you get mad at the video game. Okay, hold on. Get
No,
that
no,
straight.
I'm
I
not
do
saying
think you are a
you
horrible
individually. I'm
person.
saying a lot of the masses. You hear that people that aren't into gaming,
You're
they'll
not
say
a horrible
like,
person if you get mad at a video game. It's understandable, especially if you're playing something competitive like Apex, COD, Fortnite, like anything competitive. Like I completely understand getting mad. I've been mad. I've been frustrated. You go see my stream last night. Oh wow, I got mad. But I also don't sit there and, well, granted, I'm on mouse and keyboard. I don't throw those either. But
well, they're more expensive now. Let's be honest.
they are more expensive. But point is controllers can be expensive and just as expensive if you get custom ones. But growing up, we had Nintendo, Atari, all that stuff. We didn't throw any of those either. Why? Because my dad probably would have beat my butt. He said, those are expensive. If you're that mad over a video game, it is time to stop, take a break, and go take a breather. You need to relax. There's no reason to get that upset over a game. It's
What we
not
tell
real
our sons,
life.
too.
I mean,
It's-
yeah, but listen,
It's not real life. It's not going to be the end of your world because you died 20 times.
When
okay?
you're from
It's okay.
Ohio and a sports fan outside of Ohio State, playing that sports game and getting your team to the championship might be the only championship your team sees. So to me, that was real
Okay,
life,
well.
trying to win a hockey championship or playing RBI baseball and trying to win the World Series. I had to go with what I had. Now Ender says in the chat here, I don't think we really grew up with competitive nature of the current games. When I was 6 to 8 years old, I would get mad playing sports. It's the same. We always had rules that you get mad quick and let it go before you go back on the field, and no throwing things. I will say the last time I threw a controller, I was probably like 11, and it's not true, but one that I actually remember is because I chucked my NES controller, and those things, listen, let's be honest, you could throw those against a brick wall, they weren't breaking. Now you drop a SCUF controller on the ground from your desk and it shatters into a million pieces. But the thing bounces off the wall, hits me in the head, and knocks me out. So at a big old bump, looking like a cartoon bump coming off. So and then I also had my parents, if they heard you getting too loud or playing too much, man, they always bought the systems, but they would get so mad about it. But do you think that it's a when your kids get mad, what's your advice? Again, I want your advice to someone that isn't a gamer parent. Their kids play and they don't like games.
So generally with our kid, I kind of give him a chance because I understand the getting mad thing. So you hear him slam the desk once, all right, be like, oh yeah, he thinks he just got boned in the game. You hear him yell once or twice, okay. If it's a consistent thing, then I'll go in and I try my best not to embarrass him. So I'll walk in the room, I'll open the door, he'll hear me open the door, and I tell him, mute yourself, so that I can talk to him and not embarrass him when he's with his friends. And I tell him, I'm like, listen, you got to calm down, you got to chill out, or you got to get off. All right, I understand you're mad. Relax. I've been through it. Relax. Take a breath. It's just a game. You're not losing anything. We'll get him the next game. So that, I mean, that's the best advice I would have is let it go for a minute or two. But if it's a consistent thing, try to go in calmly, quietly, get them to mute their mic if they're on a team game. Don't embarrass them, because that's like the worst thing, I think. I used to hate getting embarrassed, especially in front of my friends. And just approach it calmly. Be like, all right, I understand you're mad, but you got to relax.
What about
Try
you,
to-
Alex?
I try also because I play, so I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I understand, but if he's being like rude to his sister on there, sometimes we have to just make him get off.
She might not have a desk to hit, but I hear her when I'm in here. I'm not streaming. I can hear her over there if I'm watching anime or something.
So are
She
you
gets-
allowed? Are you allowed gamer? I'm curious. I'm allowed. I'm
Um,
loud. I can be super loud, and my
I
husband
definitely
gets-
when I play Apex, and I can rage for sure.
Yeah, I'm.
I mean, I
I'm
don't
a
rage
loud
like
gamer.
people take it so seriously. Like I mostly just try to laugh most.
I was
going to
say we can laugh at it for the most
Yeah.
part.
That's
a little
me.
angrier off stream, but
I think
generally laugh.
that's me with my team that I run with. I'm usually the goofball in the thing. Now I can get mad. It happened last night. But I tend to laugh a lot and I cut up a lot, even in ranked. And yes, ranked serious, but we cut up so much. And we have the one team member. He's always serious, and I love him for it. But in fact, I've posted clips of it before where I couldn't speak. I said something. I was trying to say I had people on me, and I said pepples instead of peoples. And me and my buddy Adzi are dying of laughter. Mind you, we are in the middle of ranked, and there are like 3 or 4 teams around us. We're in this tiny little building, and me and Adzi are in a corner laughing our butts off. And you hear Sammy in there going, I'm nading, Valk's one shot, dead serious. He is completely serious. Me and Adzi are laughing the whole time. We are of no help. Like, we are of no help.
We played ranked tonight, and I have a challenge, James, called the Pacifist Challenge, where my entire squad is not allowed to engage in a fight the entire match. And I'm running my challenges in ranked this season, so we ran around the entire match with nothing but heals on us.
I love it.
And
Second
that just shows you how serious
Second
we are with
place.
this shit.
Nice. That's awesome.
I see Ender said that's the same advice you give to kids in sports, and that's 100% true, because I'm coaching my son's little league team this year, and I actually had to talk to a few of the kids the other night in one of our games, because we lost by a run, and these kids are so hard on themselves, man. They get so angry. I got to remind them, I'm like, listen, man, it's all right. You're good. Relax. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Go back in and get it. Let's go.
They really are. That's the reason why I have to tell Kane to take breaks. You laugh at me, but I have to tell him because he's really hard on himself. He'll go off the deep end and be like, I suck. I'm horrible. And I'm like, dude, you're 6 years old and you just like almost wiped the whole squad. Like, chill. like it's okay. It's not a big deal.
We
but,
do hear in the Twitch chat, we got a couple other comments.
Yes.
We've got FireXit Gaming says Wildish is super loud when she
Adzi.
plays Apex.
There you go.
Ender-
Adzi likes
Fire.
tools is my
And
fire team member.
Adzi does stop by and says kills potato. Kia's
Potato's
potato
team
teammate here. Waves.
Yeah.
For those
Yep,
that are
that's my
listening that don't
buddy.
know a lot about gaming, if you are called a potato, you basically cannot aim or hit the side of a barn.
Yep, that's me and Adzi.
Ender also says, well, last time I played Mario Kart with my 6-year-old, she beat me, looked at me, and said, deal with it, sweetheart. He was so proud.
That's
pretty
amazing.
awesome.
Deal with it. I mean,
Listen, Mario Kart's brutal. Mario Kart's made to help those kids
Yes,
beat
it
you,
is.
but we're all super competitive at that. Kia, so you know, you kind of, you know, you told the story about meeting them through TikTok and going
Yeah.
across, and then tell us a little bit how you got them here and what went down. you've kind of
Um,
taken the reins all this, so I want to give you some credit here.
I did, because I know we've been kind of looking to see if we can get some more parents in here for the podcast, and watching him through TikTok, and a lot of that getting discovered is also your hashtags. Granted, when I was a kid, that's not what we called those things. But
That good old
anyway,
pound sign, baby.
The pound sign.
the pound sign.
Pound sign
Um,
gamer.
So, a lot of times when you hashtag things, like me, I tag mine with, parent gaming, parent gamers, parent streamers, like stuff like that to discover, I can get discovered by people that are similar, that have the same type of things going on in their life. And so I can connect with them, and that's how I found him. And, I just really started commenting on a lot of his videos because I enjoyed the content, the laughing, the having fun, the amazing moments that you actually see that are just like, oh, I can't believe I pulled that off. And it was a lot of fun being able to be there and see a lot of those on TikTok. And then eventually, like I said, I did make the switch and I popped into his stream. I said hi. And I also, at one point, I joined his Discord and I reached out to him and asked him about maybe doing a podcast, joining our podcast, because I also saw that he does a podcast as well. And I said, well, would you be interested in joining and doing a podcast with us, joining our podcast for a guest spot, and see, like, just kind of get them out there as well, because he streams and his community is actually very loving, and I love being in his streams when I can be. A lot of times though, I am lurking. I can't always be there 100% of the time. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like started talking to him, and then I was like, hey, you know what? I really like these people. I think they'd be an amazing fit for us to have them come in and join. So
No, yeah, Kia told me about you guys. I was super excited to have you guys. I'm super excited that you guys are here. And if you guys are listening on the audio on the audio podcast platforms, keep in mind you can reach out to these guys, twitch.tv/the Holy Man. That's THEE Holy Man. And then you've got twitch.tv/Wildish Mama. And it sounds like she does a lot of gardening in real live streams. So for those of you who haven't checked those out, they do sound like awesome people to check out. Now, for you, Holy Man, you see TikToks and you see streamers constantly talking about, don't jump into someone's stream and let them know you're a streamer. Don't jump into someone's stream and talk about other content ideas or collaborating with them. So Kia's reaching out to you. Are you just looking at this like, what is going on? Are you pretty open to people talking? What's your take on how all this works?
So on Twitch, there are millions of streamers. And I would bet that at least 90 to 95% of the viewers in my channel are other streamers. So the only thing that I tell people that you shouldn't do is hop into someone's stream and say, hey guys, I'm going live now. You should come watch me. Or, hey, I got to go because I'm getting ready to go stream. That to me is self-promo. When people come in and talk about their projects or say, hey, you do a podcast? I do a podcast too. That's awesome. We have something to talk about now. Because I'm not some big streamer. I'm just a dad who works full time. I come on and I hang out with people, and I ask people about their streams all the time. Right? It's how we connect. It's something we all have in common. So I never discourage people from talking about that sort of thing in my chat. And I try my very best to acknowledge people as soon as they jump into my chat. As soon as you say something, I want to respond to you, which is part of the reason my gameplay is really lacking, which is why my KD is really low. Because
Alex, do you see what he just did right there? Do you see how he tried to like deflect the comment that you threw out? He's been for 20 minutes finding a way to justify the comment you said earlier in the podcast.
Man, an elephant never forgets. All right. But no, like with streaming, man, like I'm all about the interaction. I could care less about my gameplay. If I could interest people with just chatting streams, I would do it. But I mean, the gameplay's fun too, because I get to do it with my wife. So when people come in, if they want to talk to me about podcasts, let's do it. Do you have a nice stream coming up, a special stream you got going on, some kind of subathon, anything, fundraiser stream? Let's talk about it. What kind of podcasts are you into? Hey, you guys like anime? Anything you want to talk about? Let's talk about it. It gives us a way to connect.
So tell us a little bit about your podcast. Go ahead and listen. We want you to come on the show, and we want you to promote. We want people to be able to find you. What do you guys talk? What do you guys talk about?
Y'all are just like me. So I have two. Right, so I started a podcast probably almost a year and a half ago now.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years now with my best friend of 20 plus years. It's called Nonsense and Deep Thoughts. For the longest time, we wanted to do some type of show where we talked sports and whatnot because we're both very much into sports and have been for a long time. We grew up playing sports together, and it ended up being where we finally decided to do the show. All we had was a laptop and a gaming headset, and no microphone, no nothing, and it turned out to be not a sports show. So this came about after we started streaming. So our first episode we ever did was on gaming and streaming, and from there we both like to listen to Joe Rogan. So we kind of tried to model it after his show, where each week it's whatever is on our mind, whatever we want to discuss, we just chat about it. And we ended up at our 20-something episode.
Sorry,
No,
she's
don't pick
being
her
really
up.
bad.
At our 20-something episode, we started bringing on guests, and that ended up being really fun too. So that one, we just did another episode, finally got back into it today. So, but that's all over the place. Recently, I started doing a show every week on my Twitch channel I call Holy's Confessionals. The original idea with that was to try to showcase members of my community that I feel don't really get a whole lot of traffic through their channels.
Now, is this a Twitch only podcast, or do you have audio format on it too?
I do put it out on Spotify and YouTube as well. So when I upload through Anchor. I'm assuming you know the website.
Yeah. I'm trying to follow your stuff right now while you're talking. So
Awesome. So what I really wanted to start, this show's been ever evolving. It started out as trying to showcase members of my community because I think they're amazing. They're super supportive, and a lot of them don't really get a whole lot of traffic. So I thought if I bring them onto my show, I generally have a good amount of people coming through mine. They'll get to see these people, get to see their personalities, and they get to go visit them. So started out that way. Then I decided, well, I'll bring on someone from my community, and then I'll reach out to someone from another community as well and try to bring communities together. So my ultimate goal is to bring multiple communities together and try to make like one big community out of it, to have one central Discord for everyone to connect with, so you're not trying to keep up with 20, 30, 40 different Discord servers. Because I never really wanted to have a server to myself. I thought it was so much work.
it's so much.
Finally have them.
It's so much work.
It's so hard. It's so hard, and it's so hard to keep up with every other server you're in. But I have a solid mod team now that has great ideas. They're super supportive, and they've helped build this community so much in the last few months that I feel like I can try to push what I originally had planned for that server. So that became the second idea. And now, if you go back and listen to last week's episode, I had a member on named 13 Vibes, XIII Vibes, and she is super into paranormal stuff. And she says that she can commune with spirits in the other side. And we had an incredible conversation. And it started to get a little deep at the end, and we got into some religious beliefs and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, aside from just the whole streaming side of this, let's just get to know some of these streamers on a personal level. So like, I'm really hoping we can get into some really deep, thoughtful, meaningful conversations on there now.
I can say that I was there for part of that, and I absolutely loved it. It was great.
So much fun.
So
Yeah,
it was a
it's
lot of
funny.
fun.
It's kind of the same way we've grown this. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and it sounds like you have a lot of interest in stuff that we do. So I'm sure some of our other shows would love to have you as a guest. We have a anime podcast. We have a horror movie and TV show podcast. We have the Parents versus Gaming. We have Last Choice Gamecast, because everything is under, I did the whole LLC, a company name and everything, Last Choice Network. We have a website that just went up. And then we've got the Scav Report podcast where Ender does that's Tarkov thing that we started, and we've started to grow that a little bit. And then there's a couple other things slowly in the works, and it's funny because the other two people that started the company with me, US Bobber, who is supposed to be on Parents versus Gaming, but apparently is too busy,
Who
but
is
not
also
bu-
trolling
but
us
not
in,
busy and not too
chat.
busy to not be able to troll in the chat a little bit, talking about he's going live right now. It doesn't even stream. But he is a football coach, and he's super busy all the time, so I understand that. And but we're kind of all over the place, and it's just like I said, you want to grow, and it's funny, that's how I met US Bobber and I started this a little over a year ago, just us. We had no idea what we were doing. I mean, he was literally recording. I taught myself how to do OBS. He was recording straight from his phone. I would pull it up on Discord and just record the video feeds. And if you were to look at some of the first Parents First Gaming episodes, man, the backgrounds and just the way that it looked, it was bad. And then, I met, we had Jordan with us for quite a long time. And in the middle of that, we met Killa, and we met some, we've come across good and bad over the year, where we've met some people that have, were here and now they're not, and not a part, and you kind of weed out, right? And I'm sure you've come across the same thing. You've got people that seem really, really cool right at the beginning, and then either they're only in it for themselves or they're not ready to commit, which is fine. I mean, again, all the stuff you're doing, no one's getting paid, right? This is all extra time that we're trying to do. Of course, we that's the goal. We want it to grow. We want it to be something. But I do think that it's a huge challenge, and it's honestly, just listening to you talk, it was like a big weight off my shoulders. Like, wow, I'm not the only crazy person out there trying to put something together. But yeah, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure some of the stuff, it makes me laugh every time you mention anime stuff. I'm like, man, they'd probably love to have you on the episode and talk about. We've got about 4 different hosts that kind of rotate through and pump out some episodes there. It's funny, I'll edit the episode and I'll text them. I'll be like, I have been editing this episode for 30 minutes and listening to you talk. Honestly, they might as well be talking Mandarin, because I don't understand anything that they're talking about. Like, if there was a topic that they talked about that should be edited out, I would have no clue, because I have no idea. Then you've got US Bobber, who all he wants to do is go on the show and talk about tentacles, because he finds that part crazy. So it's just, it's crazy the things you get into. And then what's funny is the one that we're trying to organize the most, which is our horror podcast. We put all this effort, Ender and I, we talk about this all the time. We put all this effort into all these other podcasts, making the overlays look great, promoting the crap. The least promoted podcast is the horror podcast, and it averages almost 200 downloads a week. And we're like,
that's really good.
And they haven't even recorded an episode in a month. And they're still averaging those numbers. It's crazy. But it's like you find your niche. But I'm not gonna sit there and keep watching horror. I'm terrified of that stuff. So it's not like I can just keep going. So again, you just got to try to find that motivation for people. But it is really exciting to hear that you're trying to build something too. Hopefully we can. I'd love to talk to you off camera maybe a little bit and see if what we can do to help each other out. But where else can people find you? Is it just Spotify, or do you have Apple Podcasts as well?
So, Nonsense and Deep Thoughts, I got onto Anchor back before Spotify bought. So they distributed it to multiple platforms. They distributed to Spotify, Apple, Google, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and a few others, I think. And I put that one up on YouTube as well. But as for Holy's Confessionals, that is, you can find me on Twitch. We're doing Wednesday nights now for that live. And then it's on Spotify and YouTube. But the YouTube would be under The Holy Man. It's got its own little separate folder over there on the Holy Man page.
Now, Alex, let's talk about these IRL streams a little bit before we let you guys go for the night. What got you into them? How do you set it up? How do you find it working?
So the first time I did it, I kind of threw together a little tripod using something that he had, and I just stuck it in the garden. I moved it around with me as I weeded the garden beds, and I just talked. And then I ordered my own tripod, and that works much better. I just set it up in the garden. I plant, I just talk, and I weed the garden, I plant. I just talk about whatever people want to talk about in the garden. I give advice.
That stuff that you're trying to charge money for, you're giving to people for free on Twitch.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
Before you said tripod, I was just picturing Holy Man like walking around with like an
Right, right.
iPad, like,
No,
Pretty
actually,
big.
what she
standing
actually
over
had-
top of you in the garden.
she had my old ring light the first time she did it.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's what I
It kept
used.
falling over, and I told her, I was like, just fold the legs together and slam it right into the soil. You'll be fine.
He'll be all right.
Now we've got US
Work.
Bobber in the chat says, any suggestions on how to get my carrots bigger?
I don't know. Mine were terrible last year, but the years before that, they were beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if that was.
You could watch a certain type of video if you want.
This is true.
Mine's always in the gutter. I'm sorry.
No,
So is his. Don't be sorry.
I'm
So
100%
is his.
certain.
Don't be sorry.
I'm 100% certain US Bobber was right there with you. If he was on,
He was
you,
100%
if he was
right there
on the
with
show
you.
tonight, Key and I can already attest. If he was on the show, Key and I wouldn't get a word in. It would just be you two talking back and forth. It'd be me, Key, and Alex just sitting back like this.
Probably like
You guys
shaking
would-
our
you guys would
heads,
be running.
laughing, just going.
Yeah, he's already asking if they're orange pills.
Dude, you can paint them orange if you want. Make it look like a little Tic Tac.
If you want to, but I don't know if that paint would taste good.
Food coloring.
You get like that candy coating.
Test cam GoPro. I bought like a. I don't even know what my tripod is for. I don't know. It's very small, but I can
It's for a
put it at
phone.
ground level. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's for
It's
my
for
phone.
your
yeah.
phone.
That's fun though.
And do you find how do you handle the engagement on it? If people are chatting with you, are you constantly looking back at it? How does that work? We're all
I
spoiled,
try to
right? We
check
just look at a monitor.
every little bit. Yeah, it's hard on the phone because it's pretty small. I have to wear my sun hat, otherwise I can't read it because it's so hard to see outside. But I mean, it worked really well. I need to do some more of them. It's just the weather doesn't cooperate, and then some days I get too busy with the kids because we homeschool. I homeschool our two kids.
What?
I homeschool my son too, so I understand how that is.
Yeah. So some days
better
it's
that
like
way.
we can get it done early and easy. But I also work part time, so it's like trying to balance streaming, kids, work. You know, it's.
Yeah, she's
A
more.
lot.
She's more the one that struggles with trying to get her streams in. With being,
I
you know,
am
the
not
parenting.
very schedule oriented.
Oof.
Besides work,
I like
I just
organization.
kind of go with the flow. Almost all the time.
Better
Um,
that you don't homeschool.
Yeah, I'm being told it's better I don't do any homeschool. Listen, I'm very spoiled.
Yeah.
My son's mother she owns her own preschool and runs her own curriculum, so
Oh, that's
very
good.
very very lucky and very fortunate in
That's
that
really
for sure.
Yeah.
So Kia, what questions do you have before we keep them up past their bedtime here?
They're past their bedtime. I don't really have any questions for them. I just enjoy hearing other people that have the same kind of like lifestyle. Like when he said that she homeschooled, I was like, "What? I homeschool?" Like that's like I was what? I'm not the
There are
only
other
crazy
people out there
person.
like me.
So you're just now finding that out, Kia?
I'm not the only crazy person.
I actually have a lot of people that are like, "You're not going to send them back to school next year." I'm like, "No, it works for us, so we're just going to keep doing it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Aren't you concerned?" No, I'm not concerned.
You know what? Actually, I do have a question. How did he feel about you homeschooling? Was he on board with it? Was he not? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I was
Yeah.
curious about that because I know when I had Kane and the older he got, I was like, I think I'm gonna just homeschool. And my husband was like, I think you should just send him to school. Like, no, you should. He wasn't on board at first with homeschool at all. And then when COVID hit, he started, well, he's like, and as crazy as things got, he said, maybe it is a good idea to just homeschool. He's like, actually, I think that's a good idea. So he got on board after that. Like, he was like, oh, okay, that's okay. But, yeah, so.
That's when we started too.
was
They went to public
curious.
school.
Yeah.
Went to
See,
public
he's
school
never
before COVID.
never been, and so sometimes he struggles. Like I'll tell him, okay, I need you to sit down. We're gonna do some schoolwork, and then he gets like upset with me because he's like, I'm like, it's an hour and a half. If you sit down and just get it done, like you have the rest of the
Yep.
day to play. Like,
That's what we
dude,
say,
Exactly.
too.
So
like I was like, if you want, we can send you to public school and you can sit at a desk for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So
when COVID first hit and they sent the kids home to do the virtual schooling through the school, it was all online.
yeah.
There was no writing. Like everything was, all the curriculum was online. They didn't
have
have
any books.
no books.
That's
My
crazy.
kids struggled hard with that.
Mm,
So we discussed it, and we decided to pull them from the district
yeah,
and to go traditional homeschooling.
there you go.
And that worked out so much better because we got our curriculum guide,
Yeah,
got them all the books. She
That's
set
good.
everything up. And like you said, an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of schoolwork,
If you
physical
just-
paper, a pencil, books in front of them, reading the material, done in an
Knock
hour
it
and a half
out.
to 2 hours. It's beautiful.
We do a lot of hands-on learning.
yeah,
Like they help me in the garden. They're both learning how to grow their own food.
that's
I'm
awesome.
trying to teach them how to cook, bake. I want them to have life skills, not just book
That's how
skills.
that's how I am with Kane. He loves to help me in the kitchen. He loves to garden. He loves to grow things as well. So it's and it's somebody had said something because I have made friends that are like, I don't cook, and I'm like, what? They're like, I don't really know how to cook, and I'm like, you're my age. How do you not know how to cook? Their parents didn't teach him. I said, I will be damned if my son does not know how to cook.
Yep.
He will know how to cook for himself, because I'm not going to raise a child that can't cook
Mhm.
and not be able to do for himself and expect somebody else to do it. Like, no, that's not how that works.
So-
Like, world is not going to be giving you stuff out on a silver platter. And
Exactly. In the chat, US Bobber says, wouldn't it be better for them to be forced to learn in a digital environment since the world is now digital?
I don't think so. Not as a full-time thing. Aside from that, they're back in school now, so that's different in and of itself. But learning computers and learning that sort of thing is a good thing, but I don't think doing everything over the internet is good for them.
Yeah, Alaskan says, I still think kids need to learn basic skills, learning versus
Cursive.
all just being digital, doing math without a calculator, writing and reading, writing cursive.
Honestly, I feel like the biggest thing with that is how kids learn. Every kid is different. I am a hands-on learner. So and not every kid's like that, but there are kids that are. And so something like that, like a virtual school, that's not going to work for that kid. It's hands. If they need something hands-on and they can't have that, then you are literally setting them up for failure. So I feel like that is definitely that. Yes, it can be good, but at the same time, if that child, that's not how they learn, you're setting them up to fail. You're just setting them up to fail. That's all that is.
Yeah, I think it's a good part of it. It's a good part of the learning, but I don't think it should be solely. I don't think that should be solely how they learn.
We mix it in with our curriculum. We mostly do everything
Mhm.
with books. It's like we were starting to hear all these different things that were going on with the school district and like the things that they were pulling from the curriculum. They weren't telling the parents.
Mhm.
So it's like we wanted more control over knowing that our kids are learning things that they actually need to know. And just a lot of it's a lot, and we also are teaching cursive.
Yes, and I see.
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to follow along in chat too with Bobber
Yeah.
there. He said, "Cursive, is that still a thing?" Put it next to
It
writing check.
is but unfortunately, a lot of places have quit. A lot of schools have quit teaching cursive. Not every school, but a lot of them have.
I think the most important part about learning cursive is a lot of historical documents are written in cursive.
Yeah.
That's how they wrote. That's how they wrote back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
And being able to sign your own name.
Does that mean cursive should be moved from the English class to history class?
might need to be?
It could be. It could be.
Need to be.
And
Oh
I think
my
they should
gosh.
teach. I think they should teach sign language from a young age too.
Yeah, I
maybe
think so,
maybe
too.
we should learn that and teach our kids. I think
Yeah,
sign
Yeah,
language is important.
my kid, his mom teaches him sign.
I got taught how to sign. My mom actually had hired a deaf babysitter one time, and my deaf babysitter actually taught me how to sign when I was little. So I still know some of it, not very well though. But that was really neat to do and learn. So I definitely think it's worth it.
Well, look here, guys.
I knew the letters,
Go ahead.
That's it. I knew the letters for sign language. That was
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up, I want to bring it a little bit back to gaming as we close. I like to usually ask anyone that's newer to guest, what is now we can all talk about what our favorite game was as a kid, but as an adult, is there a game or was there a game that you would say is your favorite or something that made you be like, okay, I'm back into gaming. Like, this is why I game. For me, it's Mass Effect is kind of the thing that just like blew my mind. And it'd been out for a couple of years when I finally played it. And I know Kia talks a lot about, Dragon Age is kind of her jam. So it's almost we've got the same thing. Hers
Dragon
is
Age
just
is my baby.
Dragon
I
Age,
love
and
Dragon
then
Age.
Mass Effect for me, same developer. But what about you guys?
But you-
Skyrim. Definitely. I've played it, bought it when it came out, and I've been playing it the last 10 years. My stomach's making noises. But I can still just pick it up and play it and just play through the whole game. I mean, it takes a lot of hours, but that's
Now,
the
have
game
you
that
beaten it on the Alexa yet? Because it's on the Alexa.
No. I don't.
Alexa?
Yeah, if you have an Alexa, I don't. They made a joke about it, and turns out it's real. If you say, "Hey Alexa, let's play Skyrim," it's on there. I promise you.
We don't have any.
We
It's
have
not.
it on
It's
the
not
Fire
game
Stick.
controller. It's all talking.
That's
we don't.
crazy.
We don't have one of those.
We have it on the Fire Stick. I'm gonna try it.
You can just download the
Oh,
Alexa app.
yeah.
You can just download it on your phone. Yeah,
Alexa is
That's
on the Fire
crazy.
Stick. I forgot.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I never fell out of gaming. You know what? When you first started playing Skyrim, it took me a while to get you into it.
Yeah.
It was one of our first apartments together.
No, it was our house. In Way Mills.
Yeah, well, I tried to get her to play it. She's like, "No, I can't play a game like that. I can't play a game like that." Got her on it. She wouldn't put it down. I could not get on the game system at all. She hogged it big time.
Yeah, that's
that
like a
definitely got
whole
me
second
back
life.
That was me with Dragon Age. Yeah, that was. I can spend hours on Dragon Age and get lost.
You have it.
It's-
Do?
I love it.
Yeah, we recently bought Inquisition for our son, and he
Okay,
doesn't play it.
that's the third one. Yeah, no, I've played all of them multiple times to the point that I've gotten every ending possible. I've romanced everybody I could. It's just I love the replayability and how different decisions can affect different things, and so yeah, Dragon Age has always been my get lost in the world.
And holy man, did
Just-
you say yours is also Skyrim, or you have your own?
Well, I love Skyrim probably just as much as she does, but I never really took a break from gaming in the same sense that she did. So I was always into it. But I think Final Fantasy VII is definitely my favorite of all time. I can't put that one down. I'm excited about the remake.
I was gonna say, have you
Um,
played the remake yet?
I did, and I can't wait for the second part of it. I was kind of sad that they
It'll
were
be here
putting that
what in
part-
2035 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I am
Easy.
super aggravated that they put it out in parts. I'm like, that's just. It
The next
aggravated
game
me.
that really got me stoked about gaming was Horizon, Zero Dawn, and then Forbidden West.
Yes.
am in
I haven't
love
had a
with
chance to
Forbidden
play
West.
Forbidden West yet, but
Partway through it, I have to finish it.
So no
Horizon
Elden Ring
Dawn.
fans here. No one's a glutton for punishment.
I have
Never
not.
tried that.
I've never played the Dark Souls games either. Believe it or not.
So I will.
played
So
them.
I have played a little bit of Elden Ring. If you, it is. I would say it's easier to get into than Dark Souls. They're not connected. You don't really have to know. It's pretty crazy. It's crazy how open, really truly open world it is. It's almost like a more adult Breath of the Wild.
Is it?
Yeah, I
Watch
would say.
the
I mean,
people play
you die a lot. You have to be okay with dying
lot.
a lot. I mean, you literally take 5 steps and you're dead. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't go that way, or look at that enemy for 5 seconds.
See, there's nothing wrong with those because you feel more accomplished when you beat it. or
Do
when
you
beat a
though?
boss.
Do you?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I mean,
I,
I mean,
Okay.
I don't like games
I don't
like
know.
that.
Maybe James doesn't, but the rest of us do.
listen, I'm already
trying to-
slow enough in the
Positive.
multiplayer games. Now I need a regular, an offline game to humble me even more.
Well, you know.
I mean, I got Holy Man's kids over there beating me in Fortnite on a daily basis now that I don't even know about.
Not
So
around
now
I mean,
Kane's already better than me in Apex. The only thing I got going for me is Tarkov. And that's until my friends actually learn the game and start getting better than me. Then I'm just back to being humbled again. I do want to give some shout outs.
Shoot 'em.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I try not to run my mouth anymore because every time I do, they shoot me. I do want to give some shout outs in the chat. We really do appreciate all of you guys coming by. I know some of you are from Holy Man's stream, so thank you guys so much. We do record this podcast live every Sunday around 8 or 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I promise you we are definitely going to bring Holy Man and Alex back on as a guest in the future, as long as they're excited and willing to. For all I know, they're like, no, I'm never doing that again. But it does look like, let's see, God King says Fable was mine. Adzi says Bioshock. US Bopper likes chicken. Alaskan Wolf is Minecraft. Now, Alaskan Wolf, it's funny, is actually my brother. He refused to play Minecraft. He thought it was the dumbest thing
Minecraft
ever.
is fun.
I did convince him to play it, and now he's like, when he plays Minecraft, Kia, imagine you times 100.
I love it already.
Yeah. I told him he
Love
should
already.
jump into your community. He would jump into your community, and you would be gone for like a couple weeks, and then come back, and like you would have like materials for everyone to build, and then he would make like fake setups. He would make like a Walmart for you guys and
I love
organize
it.
shelves. Like you'd be
My
like, what
barn,
just happened?
I haven't streamed it in a while, but I actually made my bakery barn even bigger, and everything has its own chest now. Every wool color I have has its own chest. I went crazy, and I still feel like I've ran out of room
We've got
for organizing. So, yeah, my people come in and they're gonna be like, "What is?" She doing?" I built a whole village next door to me. I built. I had like, I for each holiday, I do like a little. I make a decoration that I built. Like for Easter, I made this giant Easter basket, put a bow on it and everything, and then I went and hid 12 Easter eggs around my realm.
Oh wow.
And I had one of the people went and found all 12. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
Very creative.
And then we've also got Ender, and this is not a joke. He's not trolling. One of his favorite games is Farm Simulator. He likes streaming it. It seems to be very relaxing for him. Most of the time, it's me just going, drive over there, go check out this thing. What else does this do? But yeah, it's interesting to see. Now, Mrs. Shadow has jumped in as well. Thank you so much for stopping by, Rach. She's actually one of our main moderator for the channel, and I can attest that she wasn't always a big gamer, and her basically fiance got her into it. That's Master Shadows that we play with, and she bought my Switch off of me, and she 100%ed Breath of the Wild.
Yes, she
As a
did.
noob gamer.
Wow.
I
Which
remember
is-
that.
Yeah, which is funny because if we got Alex here, Alex, I'm sure you could tell her if she liked that, she probably would like Skyrim. Then she probably could jump into
good.
it.
Yeah. And I know she was playing Destiny 2 there for a while.
She is
I don't
playing
know if
Destiny
she still
2
is.
with the guys. It is pretty funny to
Awesome.
be in chat while they're trying to carry her through events. They do a lot of
I love it.
hardcore mode things, and they try to carry her through. But then once in a while, they'll be like, "I'm dead. Can you come res me?" And then she'll res them, and they're like, "Oh, she came over and res me." They almost it's like they don't know what to do. They're super shocked. So it's super cute. And it is fun to listen. I've
that.
definitely told them a few times they should stream it. I think people would get a big kick out of that
Yeah.
as well. But listen, guys, I don't want to keep you all night. If it was me, we could probably talk for another hour and a half. So I would love to have you back in the future. If you ever need help or guest on your podcast, I'm sure Key would love to join in. I would. You've got Ender, Bob. You got a whole group of people. You're more than welcome to tap into anyone that's in a part of the Last Choice Network team. But thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Do you guys have any closing remarks? Anything you guys want to shout out?
If anybody wants to be on the show, Holy's Confessionals, just hit me up. Send me a message on Discord, on Twitch, Whisper, wherever you want to hit me up, because I'm always looking for new people to get on there, and we can talk about anything you want to talk about.
What's your what's your stream schedule like? What's your stream schedule so that if anybody does want to come check you out over on Twitch, which his handle is underneath his thing as well as his wife's. So if you guys want to check them out, but what's your schedule?
So Sundays and Mondays, I start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do Apex together. This is my Apex duo. So we stream together Sundays and Mondays. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern right now. That's when I do my Holy's Confessionals. So it's generally those 3 days. This week, however, I do have a special stream on Saturday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, I am doing a Community Appreciation Week. So my community has been so good to me. They raised enough money to get me a PS5 and this brand new Shure MV7 microphone. So I am taking tips and donations through Streamlabs to give back to my community. I set a goal of $500. I want to get enough money to try to help as many people as I can get new pieces of equipment for their streams. So all week I'm collecting for that. And then this Saturday is the stream to cap it off. We're going from 4 p.m. Eastern until whenever I quit. And if I hit certain goals on Saturday, I'm going to be trying some weird food combinations, maybe that new spicy Mountain Dew crap that they have out,
Boy.
which I think sounds
Pumpkin
absolutely
spice
awful. Oh,
Sounds
yes, I
disgusting.
found pumpkin spice cup noodles as well.
Oh.
We'll try some of that. So
Oh.
trying to raise money for the community, give back to them, and do some dumb crap. So
That sounds awesome.
And Alex, what about you?
I'm not getting involved in any of that.
Whoa!
she
I
doesn't-
love it. I'm not getting involved. Mm-mm.
There's
She's
nothing.
there.
There's no channel points or any kind of goals where you get to pie him in the face on stream or anything like that. There's nothing we. Listen, I can tell you right now that
Maybe we need to
entices
add that
someone
as-
like me and Bobber to jump in
Maybe-
and
What did I shoot the things at you for?
that was a subathon. She thought it was really fun. Every time I got a certain amount of subs, she came in the room and popped a popper at
With
me.
the
I love
confetti.
it. I love it.
So my
The house
room was
a mess.
covered.
That's
covered.
great.
and
We
when's
did to the kids the next day. too.
when's the next garden stream?
Hopefully this week, as long as the weather's good.
Yeah.
I started a business where I build people gardens, tend them, plant them, them advice throughout the year, and help them maintain. So I have to finish up one of my gardens this week. So I'm hoping that I can do one maybe like Wednesday or Thursday
Oh,
after I
okay.
finish hers.
Fortunately, you'll probably have to be in our Discord server to stay up to date on that one, which you're more than welcome to join anybody.
And
if
what's
you
the?
want
Do
to.
you want to give a shout out of the Discord server?
Yeah, I can do
Uh,
that.
Yeah, and actually, it's really easy.
I
We don't have one of those crazy random numbers on it anymore either. It's discord.gg/congregation. If anybody wants to hop on in, you're more than welcome, all of you guys.
And Kia, what about you? Any closing remarks or where can people find you? What do you got going on this week?
This week, oof, man, I don't think I have any plans for this week other than my normal Tuesday stream. We're gonna do story stream, which is Dragon Age Inquisition, because that's what the story series we're working on. And then I usually start around 6 p.m. and go till at least 9. And then Thursday is my Apex night. So yeah, and then Saturday we kind of just Saturdays are whatever days. Saturdays are whatever I feel
What
like
you're feeling.
that day. Last few times it's been Fable. So we've been playing Fable Anniversary. That was one of my old favorite games that my husband got me into on the Xbox. So and now I have it on my PC because he gifted it to me because it was on sale. And he's like, "Do you want it too?" Because he bought it for himself. And then I was like, "Well, you know what?" And he's like, "All right." So he gifted me a Fable Anniversary. So I've also been playing that on Saturdays. But Saturdays are definitely my days that are less structured. It's kind of just whatever game I feel like playing that day. And I just go until I don't. Until I'm ready.
Pop up Saturdays.
Yeah, pretty
Hey,
much.
that works. That works good though. It makes it
Pretty
exciting to
much.
check out. So you guys obviously you guys can find me on Twitch at the 3J Gamer. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from around 8 till midnight Central Time. It's typically Tarkov. You might see the occasional Fortnite stream as we try to, take a break from being angry all the time. And goof off until that game makes us angry. We might move on. Also, you can find any of our podcasts on YouTube or any audio podcast platform. If you just look up Last Choice Network, all the podcasts will show up, whether it's the Last Choice on the Left, which is horror, Kanichi Yeehaw, which is our anime podcast. You've got the Scav Report podcast. You've got Parents versus Gaming and the Last Choice Gamecast. And if I'm missing any out there that I might be, I apologize to any of those teams working on those. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We are, of course, if you're listening to this on an audio platform, we are live on Twitch and my Facebook page on between 8 and 9 Central every Sunday. We'd love for you guys to come in and chat along with us. If you're here tonight for the first time, part of Holy Man's, I hope to see you guys again in the future. If anyone's interested as a parent or someone who just has some ideas on some of this stuff, feel free to reach out to us, parentsfirstgaming@gmail.com, and let us know you want to be on the show. We'd love to have you guys. And with that being said, Holy Man, Alex, honestly, it was amazing meeting you guys. I can't wait to work with you guys a little bit more in the future and see some of your content coming up as well. So thank you guys very much, Kia. I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.